Imagine for a moment that your appearance here, in this body, with this name and this particular set of habits, is not a random play of biology or a blind lottery of the universe. We are accustomed to thinking of our lives as something self-evident, as a right obtained simply by the fact of birth. But if we look into the ancient texts that I have studied for years, a terrifying and simultaneously majestic truth unfolds. The Buddhist sutras say that the probability of being born as a human in the infinite ocean of samsara is less than the chance of a blind turtle surfacing once every 100 years, accidentally thrusting its head through a single golden ring floating somewhere in the boundless waters of the world's oceans. And yet, here you are. You are that very turtle that found its ring. But do you understand the weight of responsibility that this miracle carries within it? Many today seek answers in the quick algorithms of AI, trying to assemble meanings from digital fragments. But true knowledge is not constructed mechanically. It is remembered. Look closely at how you choose your clothes, how you instinctively reach for certain colors, or how you shudder at the scent of rain. This is not just taste. This is an echo of the worlds from which you came. Perhaps, not long ago, your consciousness was clamped in the icy vice of the hell realms, where fierce anger scorched the very possibility of thought, turning existence into an endless scream. Or you wandered through the thick mist of the animal realm, where the horizon narrowed to the instinct of survival and the fear of a predator. But something inside you, a thin, almost invisible thread of accumulated merit, pulled you upward through the layers of dimensions. It was like a diver who has run out of oxygen, seeing a glint of sun on the surface at the last moment and making a powerful surge. Your current life is that very first breath of air after centuries of suffocation. The human realm is described in Mahayana texts as a unique crossroads, the middle land, where all roads meet. Here, there is no unbearable, paralyzing suffering of the lower worlds that prevents one from even lifting their head. But here, there is also no blinding, cloying bliss of the heavenly spheres that plunges the soul into a spiritual slumber. We are at an ideal point of equilibrium in a zone of useful discomfort. There is just enough suffering in human life so that we do not forget. This is not our home. We need to wake up. And there is just enough joy so that we do not lose faith in the possibility of liberation. It is like the state between deep sleep and awakening, when you already realize you are dreaming, but your body is still heavily pressed against the bed. And it is in this gap, in this thin crack between worlds, that a colossal, almost nuclear energy of transformation is hidden. Your body is not a biological burden, it is an alchemical vessel. In your spine, behind hidden seals, slumbers Kundalini, a force capable of burning through the illusion of self accumulated over millions of incarnations. Every conscious breath you take is a chance to rewrite your karmic matrix, to change the trajectory along which your soul flies through space and time. But look at how we manage this treasure, this incredible one-way ticket to freedom. We waste it on collecting shiny clothes, as mentioned in ancient teachings. We choose bright wrappers that only bind us more strongly to the world of phenomena. We run after social recognition, after digital approval, after comfort that will turn to dust tomorrow, completely forgetting that all of this is merely shadows on the surface of a lake, disappearing at the slightest breath of wind. Remember the metaphor of the great sculptor written about by Swami Satyananda. We all enter this world as huge, rough blocks of stone, covered in dirt and cracks. And life, this harsh master, begins to strike us with a chisel. The blows of fate, illnesses, losses, betrayals. We cry in pain and curse the heavens, not understanding the main point. The master does not want to destroy us. He is simply cutting away the excess. He removes those pieces of ego that prevent the manifestation of the perfect form already hidden within. Your soul is not something that needs to be created. It is something that needs to be released. Inside you, A Buddha is already sitting. He is simply buried under the debris of your yesterday's desires and false fears. It is strange and painful to realize that most people use this rare chance of human birth simply to better furnish their prison cells. We build impregnable sandcastles on the very shore of an ocean that is about to rise in the tide. We fly into a mother's womb, carrying in the depths of our subconscious vows made a very long time ago, under the light of other stars and in other eras. You may feel this as a quiet whisper within, as a strange longing for a home you have never seen in this life, or as an inexplicable, almost physical pull toward ancient, unfashionable truths. This is your true ego knocking from within, trying to break through the shell of personality. It made you stop and listen to these words, because it recognized the voice of truth from which it was once separated. In a world where everything is becoming plastic, artificial, and simulated, a living touch of tradition is the only raft in a stormy sea. Many ask, what is my purpose? Why am I here? But the answer in the books I keep is much grander than social roles. You are here to break the chain. You are here to work through what you didn't finish last time, and, most importantly, to avoid taking on new debts. Every fleeting movement of your mind is a seed falling into the soil of the future. If you allow anger to possess you, you plant a prickly cactus in your tomorrow's garden, and you will have to eat it. If you show compassion, you plant a lotus. Now, in the age of Aquarius, when the planet's rhythms are accelerating, these seeds sprout almost instantly. Time is being compressed. We can no longer afford the luxury of waiting another 1,000 lives. We must become the architects of our own purity right here, at this busy crossroads of the human world, using every second as a priceless diamond. For the human form is the only high-speed elevator that can take you to the level of ultimate freedom, tearing you out of the endless meat grinder of rebirths in the realms of passion. Think for a second. How many times during this day were you actually present in reality? Not in plans for dinner, not in grudges against colleagues, not in scrolling through a news feed, but in pure, ringing now. We glide across the surface of existence like light insects on water, afraid to dive into the depths, because the depth requires honesty. There are no familiar supports there, no titles, no excuses, but it is there, in this apparent emptiness, that the peace is hidden, which does not depend on exchange rates or the opinions of others. All the books, all the sutras, all the quiet instructions of the masters lead to a single point that usually escapes us in the roar of daily life. We seek salvation outside. We seek miraculous practices. We seek the one teacher. But the great secret is that you already are the one you are looking for. You are the light that you are trying to find at the end of the tunnel. And so we come to the most important part. The most important conclusion we must draw, having realized the exceptional nature of our birth, is not to feel chosen or to begin feeling proud of our spiritual knowledge. On the contrary, true realization gives birth to a deep, piercing, and quiet repentance. Repentance for every minute we spent on empty vanity, on petty grudges, and on serving our temporary ego. Your rare chance is not an opportunity to become a successful decorator in this ghostly world of phenomena, but an opportunity to use this body as a bridge to eternity. Your only true debt is not the accumulation of things or statuses, but the fierce, tireless work of purifying your consciousness while the door of this human world is still wide open. Remember, this chance is not eternal. Tomorrow you may wake up in a world where you have neither a voice to call for help nor a mind to realize your mistake. Your salvation is not something that will happen sometime in a bright future. It is what you do at this very moment, realizing the sanctity of your every breath. This is awakening. This is the beginning of your great path home.